The idea that I wouldn't stand up for our athletes if I thought there was some kind of harm happening to them is ridiculous. I've stood up to the FBI, I've stood up to the IRS, I've stood up to Adam Schiff, I've stood up to John Boehner, the Speaker of the House from our own state and our own party. So if I think there was, if I thought there was something wrong, or if I knew there was something wrong happening, I would have stood up for them.
For the first time, Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan answering our questions about the culture of cover-up at The Ohio State University that led to as many as 300 students being sexually abused by a university doctor. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Mark Taylor.
I'm Colleen Marshall. After hearing from victims of Dr. Richard Strauss over the past few months, I tried repeatedly to interview Congressman Jim Jordan about his time as an assistant wrestling coach at OSU and if he knew about Dr. Strauss's disturbing history of sexual assaults over a period of 2 decades. Today, I caught up with the congressman. And I've talked to athletes who said they were there when you were there, that you were aware that he was showering daily, that you were aware of sexual abuse. And one of the referees said he personally told you that. Yeah. Has any of that refreshed your memory about what was going on with Dr. Strauss while you were there?
Look, every single coach has said the same thing I've said. All kinds of athletes have said the same thing I've said, and the reason they've said that is because it's the truth. The idea that I wouldn't stand up for our athletes if I thought there was some kind of harm happening to them is ridiculous.
Congressman Jim Jordan says he knew nothing and saw nothing during his time as an assistant wrestling coach at Ohio State. But more than 300 students and student athletes have come forward to claim they were groped, molested, even raped by Dr. Strauss. And this independent report, paid for by OSU, says physicians, athletic directors, and yes, at least 22 coaches did know.
But like I said, every single coach has said the same thing I have, because the reason they've said that is just because that's the truth.
Well, the fencing coach didn't say that. In fact, she wouldn't let her athletes go to him anymore, Coach Remenek. She said that all the coaches were aware, and I've talked to other coaches who were there at the time, and athletes like Dan Ritchie says Dr. Strauss had a locker 2 down from yours. How were you not aware that he was in there taking a shower every day and pleasuring himself in front of these students when they all knew about it?
Well, I mean, look, if someone would have reported some kind of abuse to me, if I'd have known about it, I would have reported it. I would have taken on anyone. I would have defended our athletes, and just like I defend the taxpayers when the IRS targeted taxpayers, just like I've stood up to all kinds of folks in Washington, I would have done it, but no one reported anything, and then we never heard of any type of abuse.
And you didn't see anything?
That's why I did not, and that's why every single coach and all kinds of athletes have said the same thing I have.
And Jordan insists the 2 people who claim in court documents that they discussed Dr. Strauss abusing students with him are lying.
The 2 individuals who said that, one has spent years in prison for fraud, and the other one was this referee who I think is completely lying about what he said. It never happened. Both myself and the other coach have said the same thing.
Jim Jordan was an assistant wrestling coach from 1987 to 1995, and during that time, at least 50 former wrestlers claimed they were abused by Dr. Strauss. All of them claimed Strauss was spending hours each day showering with student athletes, and victims told me they complained to the coaches. Jordan denies knowledge of any of that.